Right, we are ready to go racing for Q4. If this is the first time you've joined us this weekend, the reason there is a Q4 is because yesterday the track was not holding up very well. It's holding up much better today. So they made the decision early to go to a one-race weekend format. You know, so rather than a double header, we'd have 2 races. This is P2 Pira, Fredriksson, Perämäki, Julalami and Schnack. Myself and Hal particularly appreciating Pira and Perämäki with the big numbers on the front. So there you go, P2 Pira in the lead and Perämäki in P2. And that's where they should be, Hal, just having those big numbers on the front.
Well, P2 Pira was super quick yesterday morning in the tough conditions, and then is in the opening race of this one, just scrambling through the paperwork. P2 Pira, yeah, was quickest in Q1. Pleased at my own memory.
Well done.
But yeah, so don't know why. What happened then? 7th in Q3. So, no, sorry, 8th in Q3. So a 1st, a 4th and an 8th. P2 Pira should be the class of this field based on previous form, and lots of lovely rotation early in the corner as we head back up towards the tarmac section here at Kymiring.
Beautiful day. Temperatures are high. I do think track conditions yesterday was bumpy. I mean, they have watered again today. The middle section of gravel looks a bit drier. Yeah, into Pira.
Look at that lovely bank at the.
Sorry, Hal.
In the final corner there on the standard up. I actually feel like the track's a lot more finished now than it was on Friday, thanks to the efforts of the people here. And it's looking a lot nicer as well in just how the layout is working.
It is indeed. P2 Pira, Hal, was P3 and P1 in Latvia. I must be honest, Latvia is a distant memory for me. To be honest, Wednesday's a pretty distant memory, but great form this season.
Well, a quote that I would like to share with the viewers, and it puts you in a bad light, but we'll have to explain it, is that's you fine. Shouted at me yesterday going, "I don't watch motorsport," which is not strictly true, but would make people chuckle when you're a motorsport commentator. But you've watched a lot of motorsport since, haven't you? So I guess it all goes out the hole in your head.
I was trying to figure out why I couldn't remember anything from Latvia, anything at all, and then I realised that I'd done Ferrari Challenge America and then the TT on the Isle of Man, both of which were great fun. The TT particularly is an amazing event that I would highly recommend anybody goes and visits once. And yeah, when I used to work on car launches as a motorsport instructor before doing this, you know, I used to know everything about the latest Vauxhall Astra for a week while we were driving around Silverstone, and then the following week it was a Renault Megane, and I had no idea about the Vauxhall Astra anymore. I don't know. I think I've got a very. What's the short-term memory in a computer? Is it a RAM memory? That's small.
A goldfish.
Yeah, I'm a goldfish. Yeah, it's right. I am a goldfish. I'll take that, mate. That's a great explanation. Although I was described on the Isle of Man, so apparently they had a conversation in the bar. They said, "How would you describe Coley in one word?" And I was actually really pleased. They said Labrador. Fair? Come on, Hal.
I don't know about that.
You don't think so? I think so. I think it's a pretty good representation.
P2 Pira is absolutely driving away at the front of this, some 4.5 seconds ahead of Carl Schnack. Schnack is going to be tight here, I think, at the merge with Fredriksson, the fellow Dane. There is Schnack in the background as Pira drives for the line. Schnack is on the outside, but Fredriksson in the Lindemann promotion machine is going to make it. Good job from Fredriksson, who is improving a lot, isn't he, with his experience of having started the year down in Portugal.
Yeah, 2 P5s, so getting there in amongst the results.
He was in Portugal, wasn't he?
Yeah. Just didn't make it through to the finals.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Looking at the stats.
This is that.
There is a bump there, isn't there? And that really unsettled the car, but I don't dislike that. It's tricky. I think we talked about this yesterday, didn't we, with Eric Farren, actually. I like a challenging rallycross track. I like an evolving rallycross track. Okay, it was too extreme on Friday afternoon. I totally agree with that. But at the same time,
I don't mind. You said it was Hansen, wasn't it? Timmy that said he liked the challenge.
In Hong
Back
Kong,
in Hong Kong when
the track degraded a lot. It was very soft sand, and there was a lot of moaning as normal from drivers, because drivers do like a good old moan now and again when it's not going in their favour. That goes for me as well. But yeah, Timmy was enjoying it.
Alex Antila Jonas England, Nilsson, Sebastian Isak, etc. Carl Svedlund and P2 Matalamäki. Dip of the clutch in the middle for Isak, etc. Goes backwards. Meanwhile, a good start for Carl Svedlund. Svedlund needing to turn the results around after yesterday, a 5th, an 8th and a 6th, and Svedlund has been on the podium at every single event this year, and that is more like the Carl Svedlund we know, going to go late on the brakes, but needs to get to the apex. Can anyone go around the outside? No. So that's more like it, Hal.
Yet again, Alex Antila not having a very good start at all, and this time look to the inside as Isak Setra gets pushed up the bank on the outside. Just slides back down again. That gives Antila a position, but yeah, Antila was looking for an inside opportunity in turn 2, just didn't quite open up for him, and stuck at the back of the pack.
Antila was brilliant yesterday with those moves. One in turn 1, wasn't it? One in turn 2, but you say didn't open up this time. I thought the pass there by Nilsson was good on Isak Setra. Okay, Isak Setra ended up in the bank, but it was opportunistic, very close to the tyre bales on the inside. Antila goes joker. Wasn't sure there. You can see the steering angle changing a couple of times, but finally decided to go in. If you're not familiar, Crosscar Junior is up to 16 years old. I think you can compete in your 12th year, so you can be as young as 11 in this category, and you don't have a spotter, so they have to make their own decisions on when they go for the total lap, which is they make remarkably good ones based on the world's worst mirrors.
Yeah, and often disprove us when we're making suggestions about what they should or shouldn't do. Someone in the comments says, Hal sounds like he had a rough night. Well, thank you, but yeah.
So Hal, basically, genuinely, Hal is not feeling quite on top form
no,
today,
I don't know why,
but he didn't have, he had
sadly,
nothing
there's
to
no
drink.
reason
it's not
for
related to a hangover, unfortunately, yeah. And I'm not going to lie, we have both been hungover before on air, but today is not that day. Yeah, he's a little bit under the weather,
I'm
guys.
wondering if it's something to do with mosquito bites, because I'm absolutely riddled with
he's
them.
peppered. If you'd machine gunned him, there'd be less holes in him than there are right now.
Gruesome.
Yeah.
This is what Carl Svedlund needed, though, isn't it, at the front of the order? Been struggling a bit so far this weekend, Carl. Down in 7th in the intermediate classification, 5th, 8th and 6th so far, so not the sort of form we've been seeing so far this year. From memory, Svedlund's won all but 2 finals, has he, Andrew?
Yeah, yes, 4 in a row, and has been on the podium at every single one.
And not all of those have been foregone conclusions through the events, but he's had good runs in the finals when he needed to.
He's only had the but ironically, both times he's been top qualifier, Hal, he hasn't won. So he's top qualifier in the first event in Portugal and the last event in Latvia.
Broke
in the middle.
Something in the steering, was it, in Portugal on the opening round?
In the final, because he still got third. Still got third.
Something. I think it was maybe in the semi or the last quali or something that put him back, and then had to try and fight back through.
Back from the back of the grid. Matalamäki with a 1.5 second lead will not be enough. So Carl Svedlund, who is the standout driver of junior cross car, and we do seem to have a standout driver every year. Some years we've had several. Oliver Solly springs to mind, and we've had some brilliant battles when we've had 2 or 3 of them, but they move on, they move up to cross car, they go rally and whatever they decide to do. Svedlund back on top with a 3:26.9, not on top of the session. P2 Pira wins the session, so 3:25.2 is the second quickest time of the weekend, and Pira had the fastest time of the weekend as well in Q1. So 2 sessions to Pira. Will that be enough for the TQ? No, because Antilla's gone well in this one as well. Three wide. The juniors do put on a decent show. Some great passing in the background as well. Not this lap, it was actually the previous one. Svedlund is back on form. Second in this session, which I think actually is Svedlund's best session of the weekend. It is, yes. 5th, 8th, 6th and 2nd, and I'll bet you that'll stick him up onto the front row, and then you'd have to say fair go for the finals. What can he do? Svedlund, Matalamäki, Nilsson, Antila and Isak Setra, and that is the spotters gallery you can see behind. If we bosh the graphic out of the way, you'll see the spotters up there getting a lovely suntan. It's a big balcony on the front of the building. It's actually the only balcony on the front of the building. Lovely big rooms upstairs for corporate stuff, because this circuit was designed with the top levels of motorsport in mind. Alex Antila is your top qualifier. Oh, on Svedlund, I'm wrong. Svedlund just misses out by 1 point with a P2 in the last session on being on the front row, so a little bit of work to do, but I think with the way turn 1 is, it can still be done. Pirra, Matalamaki, Nilsson, Svedland, etc. Manisto, Hukka, Fredriksson, Perramaki, Yulalami and Schnack. The top 12, they are your semi-finalists for later on today. This is the other East, etc. on the inside here, with Heinonen, Zavasis and Turpering with the bright yellow on the outside. Zavasis is the orange and black car. But East, etc. gets to the first corner first. Hal, this is the first laps for these guys, of course, with a very different track than they had yesterday, because they completed their 3 qualifying sessions yesterday.
Yeah, unusual not to have a warm-up, but that was ditched quite early on in the revised schedules earlier in the weekend to allow more time for the potentially required maintenance. And yeah, this is the first laps you've done on the track all weekend. Normally you've got at least a lap under your belt to find your way around.
You could see that. Call. Yeah, you could see it on the brakes, couldn't you? Down at turn 1, well, turn 2 more onto the loose, where they were all sort of a little bit tentative and either over-chucking it or under-chucking it to get it into the first corner.
This is a big race for quite a few of these drivers to try and make it into one of the 3 semi-finals this afternoon.
That is Heinonen, who went choke on the first lap, new driver for the series as far as I can remember. In the TN11, you're looking at Tannen Terraping, sorry.
These etc.'s had an up and down weekend so far. I think 16th, the 2nd and 21st. I think he's was spun at some point a bit earlier on in the weekend. Was that in Q3 perhaps? I think it might have been. Running in potentially the slowest of the track conditions, with the water still being down and Junior Crosscar only having a couple of races. If the track doesn't degrade, and who were we talking to yesterday? Fraser McConnell, wasn't it, in the studio, who was talking about the offset between the wet track and the rutted track, and he would actually take the wet and slippery track because at least there's some consistency. When it's rutted, you don't really know what you're going to come across every single time.
Less chance of knocking the tyre off the rim as well, with those frustrating things that as a driver you just don't want to have to deal with, which I understand. There is Zavarsky's. Pop and bang of the motorbike engine as they head down into turn 1. The rotation there is just brilliant. Watching it into the trackside camera, you can see the work that's going in to get the car turned in. I was kind of hoping we might see our MX2 rider here again this weekend. He's not here, is he?
No, that's a shame, isn't it? I think there was a load of enthusiasm, clearly doing some more competing in the Baltics. They all drove on the Sunday, didn't they?
Yeah, they did,
Latvian-Lithuanian RallyCross Championship.
I got a message from Armin Rag because he'd had a brilliant weekend with us, and then he was all annoyed because he got some penalties in the Baltic rounds. Wasn't happy about it.
Is Reynes race director there as well?
I don't think so.
Reynes.
Not sure. Could be though. Mr. Black Flag. Mr. Black Flag was on good form this morning, wasn't he?
Was indeed. So is Espinese, etc. with a 3:09.8 to conclude the first race. Have a look back. Made a good start, did Ease, etc. in the blue machine, and then led comfortably from the front, won by some 5 seconds in the end, in a race that included a Norwegian, a Lithuanian, a Finn and an Estonian. There is great diversity in this cross-car field. Confirmation of the result. Ease, etc. doing what he needed to do to try and climb back up. 14th overall after Q3. Within the semi-final positions as things stand, but with 3 semi-finals you really need to be at the sharp end of the grid, because this first corner could make things different, but it's very difficult to climb up from the back row.
Marku Muru, Maiju Niemi, Nicholas Jensen, Frederick Martin and Axel Schnack. Great start from Maiju Niemi. She got brilliant starts yesterday and she out-dragged them down to turn 1. She's got a good one again today. How far forward is she? Can't see from that shot, but she's, I thought, can I say she's got the whole shot around the outside. I think it's Jensen has got her, and then someone's mugged her on the inside as well, and she's dropped down to P4. That's a bit of a shame.
Contact in the background. I think it was Schnack, was it, in the lead, and Jensen firing it up the inside, but to be honest, can't tell the difference between those two Supercar machines. From the front there, Andrew's paperwork's gone for a fly around the embassy awning.
It's gone for a Burton.
See you later, mate.
See you in a bit, yeah, I'll go and get it.
Maiju Niemi, we were championing her yesterday and how much she's improved, looking very comfortable in that car, isn't she? Ahead of another rising talent, Frederick Martin, in the background with his fully bare hybrid of carbon and Kevlar livery.
Yeah, we were also comparing Maiju to Phoebe Cake, and the fact that Phoebe is just here and taken a massive step up. And actually, Phoebe's dad this morning said, didn't he, that if he'd been a bit more aware of RallyX, he probably would have sent her the junior cross car route. In terms of feeling the car moving around a bit more underneath. I mean, you do chuck the Swifts around, but they're front-wheel drive. Obviously, a rear-wheel drive cross car is maybe more akin to getting on the throttle of a four-wheel drive early on the exits.
That's the junior Swift category in the British Rallycross Championship that Phoebe has transitioned from.
And it's great fun, by the way. I've been lucky enough to do a race there. The poor old Silverstone circuit is gone. Still one of the highlights of my rallycross career, how was when the timing screen went wrong and showed me faster than Hansen and Loeb, who were there doing a recce for the World Championship.
Is that really a highlight? It's a nice thing to have.
I think it's hilarious. Well,
it's a funny one.
In terms of my rallycross career, it's definitely a highlight because I'm not that good.
Doesn't
It's pretty, you know what I mean, don't you? The other one is when Chronomotor, when I lost the bet with Ekstrom and had to run the track in Argentina, do you remember, in my pants? And Chronomotor put the timing screen on, they timed my lap. I've got a screenshot of it somewhere. Someone came and stuck a number on my arse, basically, short before I set off, which was fairly funny. So no more bets with Ekstrom ever. He's requested a bet a few times via WhatsApp, and I'm like, no chance, mate, no chance. I wanted to bet on him. He's like, no, you can't bet on me, I'm betting on me. I was like, fine, I'll bet on better.
What was your rallycross highlight from a driving point of view?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh. Probably, although it wasn't competitive, probably driving the lights car around Hollis. It's such a wicked track, you know, it's a dream track to get a go on. Yeah, I've driven around in the rental car loads. You can't send the rental car around there because the jumps will just destroy it. And to get the chance to drive one with Ericsson on board was brilliant. So yeah, Jensen up into the Joker. Someone retiring, that'll be Schnack, unfortunately, in the background's retired on the Joker on the last lap. That is a bit of a gutter. Over the line, Jensen clearly in front. This was the start for Niemi on the run to the first corner. She got a brilliant start away from the line and then just gets a little bit mugged in turn one. So she got clattered there. I wonder if Rainer will have a word. He might not. Who was it that retired or who hit her? I can't figure it out from that angle. It wasn't Martin because it wasn't the naked car, and I think Jensen was already in front. So. Could have been Schnack, don't know. Anyway, whatever. Niemi comes home P4 in that one, and Jensen takes the win.
Quite a lot of chat in the comments about Matt Somans, and Matt isn't here. We'll be hoping to drive in Owlsbyn next time out at his home round. They're working on the development of a car, and I'm sure the RallyX channels will reveal all that stuff very soon. But there's a lot of chat about whether he's allowed to drive or not. He's definitely not banned from anywhere.
Who's this, sorry?
Matt Soman. He's not allowed to drive because of anything to do with himself. The problems they had at the...
We had a fire incident, how just it's pretty obvious that the driver's okay. That was...
oh, I see, yeah. Well, there wasn't a fire when he stopped, was there? It must have happened afterwards.
It caught fire afterwards. We didn't see it,
sounds like
we wanted to check the driver was
Rodney
okay.
out the Brock and Flamer-Roonies with some of the oily Roonies afterwards.
The what, sorry?
I don't know. Flamer-Roonies.
Hear somebody was revving a supercar in the background.
Yeah, so Mats is definitely allowed to drive. There were some question marks and some backwards and forwards.
Over the FIA events, weren't there?
Yeah, earliest last year, and that was to do with the changes required to the cars to allow for Mats' system and all this sort of stuff. And I'm not going to get into it on air, but it's quite complicated, and it's definitely not a ban. It was a conflict of opinion between different people. But for sure, he will drive in RallyX this year. I have no doubt about that. They've been working hard on the development of what he's going to do, and yeah, can't wait, because it's always fantastic to have Mats in the paddock.
Yes, agreed. Can't wait to see him back.
And he's so close to Älvsbyn that he could actually get in the car in his workshop in up there in northern Sweden and drive to the track if he wanted to. So yeah, home round upcoming.
Doing something different this year as well, isn't he? I'm not sure it's well known yet. Be a surprise for you in Älvsbyn, everybody. Well, I've got a surprise for Hal later. I'd forgotten about that. He looks scared. Maybe we'll do that just before we go to the session break. Yeah, 3 races, mate. I'll give you your gift. How about that? He's really unhappy about it.
Not unhappy.
You're honestly, I reckon you're going to love it.
Is it a full send medal?
No. No. Do you want one? Actually, you should get one really for the obscene amount of time you spent building a rallycross car in the run-up to Laureate Legends. He should get a full send medal for that. Let me know in the comments on YouTube. Should Hal get a full send medal for building a rallycross car?
What have I done that's more sendy in a car, though?
That's what, sorry?
It should be for sendy driving.
Oh, shut up, revving your engines. We can't hear anything. We're trying to have a chat in the commentary box here, over in the garage. It's like a speaker. Can you hear that in the background? I'm in favour of...
What is that?
What? Oh, my God, there is a huge... What is that? Is that a spider? He's gone. The spider's just been flicked off the desk. Wow, that was savage. I thought it was a filthy mosquito. Oh, just smashed the desk up with the feet. Jonathan Hoffman, Pasi Benson and Kalle Gofferson, Ore Lucas Jensen, Eric Nilsson. Pasi Benson in P2, now heading back on the grid. Black and red was in Supercar yesterday, but unfortunately the engine's blown there, so this is his only shot at racing now, trying to go around the outside of Gofferson, and he does. Pentonen with the big send from P3 all the way to P1. They're 3 wide behind him, and they're literally almost hooked up on each other. It doesn't get any closer than that in cross car. Absolutely brilliant.
Almost 4 wide, wasn't it? It reminded me of NASCAR at Charlotte, 4 wide as we head down to turn 2. But yeah, all nice, neat and tidy. And this is Pentonen's return, isn't it, to the front of the order, because he's been struggling a bit of late. Pasi Bentonen in the cross car category. Maybe when Andrew's finished repairing the desk, you can have a look at his stats from this year, because I don't remember anything particularly marked from Pasi in terms of overall results. And maybe not driving the supercar today can help him channel his efforts that little bit, although it is fantastic seeing him drive both cars. Kalle Gofferson into the Joker for the first time of asking, behind Jensen in the wide speed car machine.
Pentonen, P5 in Portugal, hasn't made the final apart from that, so no, not a Pasi Pentonen yet. Is this the moment, Hal, where, as you say, he's ditched the supercar, full focus on fully sending it in this? Pentonen would be one for a medal, wouldn't he, really? I mean, it's likely, not from that move, but just from Pasi generally.
Well, it says on the back of his cross car, 0 days without incident, so...
That's absolutely brilliant, isn't it? I think Pasi might like rallycross more than you.
Yeah.
What do you think?
He also had #ladies first on the back of his supercar.
Yeah. Yes, so there we go. It was Nilsson that you saw parked at the side of the road, if Hal hasn't already mentioned it while I was repairing the desk. You know, the desk is, well, the less said about the desk, the better, Hal. It's definitely broken. Who owns the desk? Is it TV or just OMC?
OMC.
Okay, I've broken it. Don't tell them.
Yeah.
I'm knocking off my voice, which is what they threatened to do with the drive shaft on the supercar line.
Just don't talk about it on air and it'll be fine.
Yeah, fine. Look at that, you can just see the dip on the brake from Jensen there 3 times in turn 1. One big one to initiate the turn in the rotation.
I have to say, Andrew, Espinese, etc.'s time at the top of the order He's looking pretty
hard to beat.
Good at the moment. Pasi Pentinen's best lap is some 3/10 shy of the best lap done by Ease Etc. Ease Etc. still holds the best lap of the session so far. Looking very good indeed as our championship coordinator Peter Hellman goes for more of Murray Ericsson's lovely sweets, which I'm trying to avoid desperately.
Yeah, he's not listening, is he?
He's not there.
He's ploughing into him, isn't he? Oh, he's listening now. He must be on a delay over there on the desk. Yeah, that's it. Crunch, 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 mate.
Pentinen drives for the line.
Come on, Pasi, let's go.
Nice, tidy Joker lap.
Could be it. Could get the quickest time.
No.
Ooh, 0.4 of a second. Pasi Penttinen slots into P2. 3:10.2. Right, 2 more races to go, and then Hal's getting his present. Oh, actually, we're going to have a recovery. We can do it now if you want. Let's have a look at this. I'll need the lights on, Peter. I've got a present for Hal. If we get a recovery, if we don't, no, you have to switch it back off again. Sorry. Here we go. So down towards turn 1. Lovely move from Penttinen.
Peter was now stuck behind the camera in a sea of wires, but he's removed himself. Well done, mate.
That's not it, don't worry. That's not it.
Pasi Penttinen takes the race win, but not the fastest time. Second overall in the session for Penttinen. Hoffman, Jensen, Gotherson and Nilsson was unfortunately the DNF.
Right. So, Mike Stone over in America, one of our long-term watchers, is a lovely bloke. First of all, he's made us these Island Rallycross stickers, which I absolutely love. Here we go. That's mega. And then, so there's definitely a sticker. We've got some of those to go out. But he sent me, bless him, he's building a Subaru to race in the Clubman's Rallycross Series over in America, which is this. You can follow those as well.
Oh, wow, that is cool.
He sent me a hoodie with the logo on to Miami when I was working at Ferrari, and he said, I've put something in the package for Hal. And that's it. It's a T-shirt for you. So Mike has made this personally for you, mate.
That is fantastic. Thank you very much.
Have a look at this. Rallycross, a horrible addiction.
Well, it's true. Thank you.
It's great, isn't it?
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Mike,
Mike,
that's lovely. Thank you, Mike.
You're super kind. Thank you, mate. Thank you for thinking of Hal as well. Mike is a big long-term viewer and supporter of the sport. So you might have seen there's a couple of lads who are building a real clubman spec rallycross track out in America. I'll find their
I follow them on Instagram. Yeah.
Yes.
And there's a Mark Wanesco on Island RX.
It's wicked, isn't it? Yeah, Island RX. We've got some Island Rallycross stickers. So if you're at a venue, come and see us, and we can give you one of those. But yeah,
how many
cool
of those
is
have
that?
you got?
Loads.
I could be about to get fired, but.
Oh, and I've got some Send It stickers here, which are also remarkably like the stamp medal here. They look the stamps.
I'm just changing the brand of this championship. Hang on.
Got to go racing. Oh, we got Island elsewhere.
Oh no, the camera's gone off.
It's fine. We'll look at it afterwards. So yeah, thank you, Mike, for all your stickers, T-shirts, and thank you for your support in watching this great fun series and being with us. He's going to go racing in a Subaru himself, and we're looking forward to seeing how he gets on. Patrick on this side of the grid, then Kiel, Raag, Orav and Vettel 3 on the outer side. Vettel 3's got a great start, but needs to close the door on Kiel in the 91. Kiel is getting swallowed up on the run to the first corner anyway. Vettel 3 gets in there, and Patrick on with a pass over the curbs on the inside, loses out in fact on the exit due to the compromise in his speed, but it was good to see him make the effort. Vettel 3 out front with Lucas Orav tucked in behind.
Raag was very close to getting wheel-to-wheel contact there up the inside into turn 2, but just about got away with it. Vettel Tree has been a reformed driver this season under the JC Race Technique banner, really doing very well compared to the results he had previously.
Lovely track conditions still, as you can see. Armin Raag at the back of the pack, was at the front of the pack last time in Riga. Where's Raag overall?
Oh, a clip bollard there at the inside of the long left-hander, and I wonder if that will be looked at, because those bollards were put specifically there to stop the cross cars going right to the grass on the inside, which they were doing so yesterday morning.
Yeah, they were using more than the curve, weren't they? They were using. I mean, leave that on, Hal. It's fine. Should we go and see Andreas in a minute with our Island Rallycross stickers on?
Maybe not this weekend.
No, oh yeah, good shout. He's been busy. Yeah, Armin Raag, P11 at the moment. Raag took the double win last time out in Latvia. TQ on one day, and yeah, the double win. So Raag doing a great job there. And here they're just dialing that P-Tech Extreme in. I'm trying to see. In fact, Andre Kiel is ahead of him. So the two P-Techs, how many are there? Two? I thought there were three. It's got a double page entry on this. There are three.
Yeah, Kiel, Raag and Muru.
Yeah, Muru's down in P22, but at the minute there's two of them in the semis. Now, of course, there's 18 in the semis, but he still won't make it in P22 at the minute. So Kiel and Raag are in at the moment. Well, I think yeah, coming to the last lap now.
I really want to go for a look around the circuit in one of these breaks because it looks so different today compared to yesterday.
If you're listening, can you take us on the recce lap in the next break, mate? We'd like to have a look around, see how the conditions are. Rainis, race director, one of the people who goes out and decides, along with Andreas and Kevin Eriksson, about what the track conditions are and whether we'll have a break and how long that break will be. And nobody's actually told us yet. I've just chased that with race control to see how long the break will be after this, because we've got one more race of cross car, and then in theory after that there's a little track maintenance break. Yeah.
Lucas Orav with the fastest lap of this session, or this race so far within the session, but not faster than Ease Etc. went earlier on by some 0.4 of a second. So the time of Ease Etc. at the top of the order, there's a very close battle here between Orav in second and Tree up the top of the order. What are they going to do as they cross the line? It's a 2:11.4. Not enough to trouble Espen Ease Etc.'s 3:09.8. So is Ease Etc. looking at the fastest time here, and has he set a fastest time this season? I don't think he has, from memory.
Well, he hasn't made it through to the final anywhere, so I would suggest not. I can't actually remember which events he's entered. I'll have to make my stats a little more comprehensive, I think, Hal. Doing finals only.
You were delighted at your streamlining of your stats, and now it's going to bite you.
Looking like, trouble, it takes hours, and I sit in front of the computer with a spreadsheet open, and basically I just think,
what else should you be doing?
Well, I could walk the dog, sit in the garden, play radio control cars, watch Star Wars. There's any number of activities that I could be partaking other than sitting with a spreadsheet open in front of me. But yeah, maybe finals isn't enough.
They're very uncommitted of you.
I'll tell you what I could do. I could just slap an X in there if they entered the event and didn't make it, couldn't I? I can't. I'm thinking maybe just their qualifying position if they don't make the final.
A DNQ?
Yeah, but then sometimes that means.
Yeah, but if you have to make your own DNQ.
I have DNQ, DNFs, DNS, and DNQs. Yeah, I don't think about it. Very boring spreadsheet chat for you live on air. Ig burst out on the inside, a wheelie from Lalami alongside, then Serna, Yuga and Lindenquist as well. Serna with the red scoop on the roof, Yuga with the green one late on the brakes. Ig Merstappen around the outside, almost collected from the rear down towards turn 1. Ig Merstappen goes late again on the brakes. Lalami gets marked and pushed out wide, drops from P2 down to P4, just holds on to that, so the two teammates in P2 and P3 one out.
Good traction from Lalami though from the outside of turn 2, so clearly there's a lot of grip there as well. You would not have got that done yesterday. When you got washed out there, you were dead and gone, so clearly the grip is much more broad across the width of the circuit now. And Ig Merstad absolutely flying after that rolling Q2 yesterday. Got back and set the fastest time in Q3 to move to the sharp end of the field again in cross car. The two pace machines split their strategy, but there's going to be contact there in the run up the hill. Lalami gets forced out wide, just about holds on to the car.
Must have got a brilliant exit from the previous corner how to make that amount of time up the hill. He's dropped it, puts it out too far onto the dry dirt. It goes around to Lalami. That's a shame. After an amazing exit on the run up to the Joker, ends up losing a lot of time.
Brilliant flying from Viggo Koch, the drone pilot here in RallyX, to respond to that incident and rotate the drone to look at what was going on underneath him.
Lindenquist livery looking epic. He got a full send medal yesterday, as did this man. If you missed it, he rolled in turn 1. Didn't even stop and carried on going. Unfortunately, broken steering put paid to that, but it was fire.
In his own words, the front left suspension had left the chat, so there was nothing he could do.
It was brilliant, was it? But said super calmly, like only a Scandinavian can. Right, Turner and Merstad. Turner is feeling so comfortable in this car and almost drops it. I nearly mugged him there with the commentary curse. Decides to go Joker. He said yesterday that it's the most comfortable he's ever felt, Al.
Watch teammate Ugar though on the inside, climbing the hill, gets the rotation done at the apex, and he's ready to fire it back down the hill. Turner's on the outside.
Turner's going to get it, I think. We didn't see. Is he going to get it in the background? Yeah, they're still side by side in the background.
Turner's got it. Turner's definitely got it. 58.8 for Thomas Merstad is the best lap, which is much quicker than Ease etc. went. So we are seeing the best of the cross car drivers in RallyX absolutely laying down here, and I will bet a lot on the fact that this is going to knock Espinese etc. off the top of the timesheets, barring any sort of disaster in the last couple of corners for Thomas Merstad.
Merstad he was quite a way back on the point. This should, well, he was on the front row anyway with 3 semis, but I don't think he's going to be able to climb the order much because Ugar, Yillalami and Turner are all in this one, and they're not going to be that far back. They've all accumulated much better points yesterday after Merstad's DNF, so it's a brilliant fight back though. It would mean that he'd won both qualifying sessions since that issue. Comes down over the line, Merstad goes fastest with a 3:08.1. And that is not the quickest time of the weekend, but it is his second session win in a row. Wins Q3 and Q4 after the roll in turn 1 in Q2 mega.
But none of the other drivers in that race beat the time of Ease etc. So that was some stellar run for Merstad, wasn't it, to get to the top of the order. Ease etc. though hangs on to second. Penttinen as well, and Jensen, and not Vettel Tree. So the order is going to be Merstad, Ease etc. Penttinen, Jensen, I believe. No, Turner's going to drop into 4th there, but brilliant close racing in cross car, and a great run for Thomas Merstad. The mental composure to come back from nearly rolling the car to being flat out and not worrying about it is exemplary, isn't it?
As I understand it, mate, you're going for a wander around the paddock. I'm going to go and do a lap with Rainis, see what the track conditions are like. You let me know what it's like in the paddock. Do you want a tea?
I've got a bit of tea left.
Yeah, these mugs are insanely good. Oh, Peter, by the way,
everybody wants a mug.
People want to buy the mugs. Peter, Hellman, people want to buy the mugs. So we're getting a lot of messages about buying the mugs. Not our mugs, personally. They don't want our spit. They want to buy the mugs, these cups. Yeah, does the word mug exist in Swedish or not? I'm joking, I'm winding you up. They want to buy the cups. So how much will they be, £1,000? Well, you have mine or Hal's for £1,000.
Email Hal Ridge at...
we're going to launch drink. Oh, can I have a drinks bottle then for the next one? We launch drinks bottles for the next race. Although mine's got my name on it. I want a personalised one, Calla. Can you? I mean, I've got a personalised one.
Peter's scurrying off, so I suspect.
Oh, sorry. Romet Turner, your top qualifier from Thomas Merstad with a DNF looking Q2 and 2 session wins, gets up into P2. He takes P2 ahead of Ugar because he was higher in the final session. Yillalami, East etc. and Vettel Trio, your front rows. Then Hoffman, Lindqvist, Jensen, Kiel, Orav, Penttinen, Kong, Rag, Nilsson. Who else is in? Need to see the next 3. And it is Niklas Jensen, Martin and Gotherson. They are all in. We're trying to find out what time we're back on. What time are we back on? Anybody know? We're trying to find out exactly what's going on with regard to where we're going and what the schedule is for you. We'll get that done in just a moment. Are you off then, mate? Hal's going for a wander.
Oh, there's no lights on. We're going to be
apparently it's bright enough.
Oh, that looks okay.
I agree, it's bright enough.
I think I might put my sunglasses on out there.
Yeah,
it's very bright.
On. Are you off now? Are we going? Is that camera live already? Oh, look at this. We're going to do like a funky camera switch. Hold on.
Mic'd up.
We need.
There we are.
Do you remember that, Hal? Was it TFI Friday? Do you remember? Oh, it's a British TV show, mate. It's like Ghostbusters. You probably haven't seen it. See you later. Have fun.
Goodbye. Let's go. How long have we got? I don't know. I've got no talk back now. So Calla said 35, I think. What's the Calla producer? We're 10 past. We've got plenty of time. Should we go a look at the track, Peter? What do you think? Yes, that's a yes. This is our studio. You can see it from the back. If you can rotate. And this is the Omersey hospitality area. This is Fraser McConnell. Let's have a quick word with Fraz. Don't run away, mate. I can't run as fast as you. How's it going?
Not bad, not bad.
Been watching these sessions. What do you think?
The track is much better than yesterday. We have a lot of FC2, so not the result yesterday, but yeah, we're 7 degrees hotter today, air temp, so that's making a big difference. But it's the same for all the FC2s. I had a bit more over driving style, you know, more on the limiter. So yeah, we're trying to be more competitive with cars. The temperature is hotter.
In the first couple of corners in your race, you just the times it's tough.
Yeah, I mean it's super good racing. Everyone is super fast. I was in the last heat, and yeah, just lost out to a couple of places in the first 2 corners and tried to keep up, but yeah, some over and made a bad 3.
And that's across the board with all the cars, so something that the engineers are working on, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. They're working hard now. They're modifying the air intake, making a big air intake. We had a mesh covering the intake to stop the stones, but then that affected the airflow. So that's a balance, but we're working on it.
Thank you, Faz. We're being told to go over here. Thank you, mate. There's a big building, so we need to stay on that if we can. Here's our who's I think about to go for a ride around the track. Unfortunately, I can't join you. What are you eating?
A pear. I've also had a tuck cracker, my favourite crackers, if you're wondering.
Was there any cheese?
No, there's no cheese out yet. Rainish is coming down now. We're going to go and do a quick lap, which is what he does in between each of the sessions, see what the track conditions are like, and then they'll make some decisions on how big those brakes will be later on in the day. So you have fun.
Enjoy. Yeah, we're just going to have a look on the start line area. There's Andreas Eriksson in his white pickup. Hi guys. So we go on to the grid. Right, there's 2 things I want to look at here. Peter, can we come down a little bit and look at this? Look at that machine at the top of the bank. This is the only indication I think we get of how steep that gradient is coming out of the final corner. This is the Joker Lap section where the yellow machine is at the moment, but you don't really ever see that undulation on the TV cameras, and it's much like going to Eau Rouge at Spa, as Peter's now on the floor trying to give you the best impression of that. It's much bigger than it looks. It's steep, it really is steep. This is what I wanted to look at, because yesterday a lot of the gravel was being pulled out of the loose surface section onto the start-finish straight, and that was really affecting the start area, Peter. If we look where that big number 9 is on the barrier, there was a lot of gravel being pulled right to the outside of the circuit, and that is much less today. So that is clearly showing that the gravel is bound together considerably better than it was. I'm going to have a little look over the barrier. This doesn't make brilliant TV, does it? But yeah, the loose looks so much better. They've done a fantastic job overnight here. You can also get a good impression of the different levels by looking at how steep this bank is in between. So we're flat, we're level with the tarmac circuit, and the final corner is right up there on the bank as well. I'm really liking this place. It's cool. Massive pit building. The infrastructure is designed for lots of circuit racing events. And this is really the first of the rallycross tracks we've come to with this kind of infrastructure, where the rallycross track is an intrinsic part of the main infrastructure. We're about to get run over by Rainers Knitters and Andrew Coley. Black flag, mate, black flag.
Oi, oi, oi. Now I go. It's not even start yet. Now we start.
No, you're cancelled.
Why?
Go home.
Hi.
You nearly ran over my foot then. I'll forgive him. Mr. Black Flag, Rainers Knitters. He has raced in every category except junior cross car. He's done cross car, supercar lights. Has he done open two-wheel drive? Don't think so, but he's definitely done a load of supercars. So his experience is unrivaled across the different categories and gives him a brilliant position to be in race direct. Supercar lights and open four-wheel drive for Q4. We're back. Hello again. So there's a big antenna on the top of this building over here, and unfortunately we went slightly out of range with the RF. First time we've done this this weekend. Hopefully we will work as we go up the paddock. So behind us is the Team Ferren squad. I won't make Peter turn around. This is Patokmek Racing with the Ikonen team. I'm going to grab this man here. Yes, sir. Can we grab you quickly, mate? Yes, Kallio, who very experienced rallycross driver himself, working with Mikko Ikonen. How's it going, mate?
It's been a quite nice weekend. Of course, a bit rough on the track, but still it's nice to be around and see a lot of good racing.
Much better track conditions today. How did Mikko find it in the Escort in open two-wheel drive?
Yeah, of course we were more happy today. The track was really good condition comparing to yesterday, and he was more happy about the pace, and it's getting there a little bit, but still we have some work to do.
Speaking of work, you're pretty busy yourself. You do a lot of rallying these days in Rally 3 car lately. I know you're working on some other plans as well, but being in this paddock must get you some itchy feet to have a go in a rallycross car again.
Yeah, of course I'm up to it if I have a chance to do it, but still, of course, I'm really busy now. But still, if there is a car, and I will of course like to drive again, and maybe someday I will do it again.
You're spotting now for Mikko quite often. How is the pressure spotting compared to driving?
I think it's more pressure. I feel more nervous to spot than to be the driver, because I don't know, it feels different.
Thank you, mate. Good to see you. Oh, I nearly fell over absolutely nothing there. Well done, Hal. This is Pasi Pentinen's car that sadly is going no further. Chassis number 11 from the OMC squad back in the day, built in 2011. And behind, we won't turn around, Peter, but the Dynamo RX squad with Anton Sepper's car doing a brilliant job this weekend. This is Joni Topanen's team. Joni should have been fastest probably in the last session had he not got held up that little bit. Let's see who's about in TT Motorsport. With the Traubergs guys, I can't see Maiko. Can we go in the awnings? Well, no, we can't go in the awnings. So we need to stay outside. That's going to make things a little bit more tricky. Let's see who we can shout at in Hedstrom's team. Okay, Peter can't go in, but I can. So let's see who we can grab. Who's behind here? Look in the Hedstrom's cars. Okay, here's Philip. Have a quick word with Philip Turen. Difficult day yesterday, mate, but a good run this morning.
Yes, we had a really difficult day yesterday with an engine here. It's so much better today when we find on the track, and yeah, we did pretty good, so I'm really happy with that.
You waited till the track conditions improved, so I guess quite good timing as well.
Yeah, I was very lucky, I was told.
And driving a supercar, you're pretty experienced in all sorts of different cars, but it's never a bad day when you're in a rallycross supercar, is it?
No, it's always a good day.
Good luck, mate. See you later. Philip Turen driving the Hedstrom's Polo. Let's see who else we can grab quickly here. Who's in STS RX? Nobody hiding in the dark. It is really hot here, actually, so people are hiding that little bit. Is Philip Martinson here? Yes, he is. I'm going to try and go in and speak to Philip. Will you come out, mate? Yeah, he's going to come out rather than hiding in the yellow hole of the awning. Hello, mate. Tough day yesterday. How's it going this morning?
Not what we want, but we have one qualifying round left, and we need 4 points more to advance to the semi-final, so we try.
What's the objective here? You've got the different cars you're racing against with the FC2s. You obviously want to be in the pro semis, but it's different, isn't it, when you're racing against the different categories within open four-wheel drive?
No, I think I want to be in front of everybody. If it's FC2 or it's a Supercar, it doesn't depend.
And with this format being a little bit different this weekend on a single header but 4 qualifiers, if you do have a bad run, it's maybe possible to get back, whereas on a single header, if you have one bad run, you usually struggle?
Yeah, definitely. I have one more qualifying round, and I have to put everything on it now and try to move up to the semi-finals.
We saw you tire yesterday, but what else can you pinpoint some of these issues on?
Yeah, it was in first qualifying. I got squeezed and broke the steering, and then I didn't have the pace at all. So it's a hard weekend.
Good luck, mate. Well, I hope you make it. See you later on. Let's see if Lucas Anderson is down here. Yeah, JC squad. Let's grab this man actually quickly. Nicholas Dubnard, I know you like asking questions and not answering them, but you've been to loads and loads of rallycross events in your career. What do you think of the Kymiring venue and the effort that's been put in to have a great race today?
It's a fantastic track, honestly. I was surprised coming here. I didn't expect a layout like this. Gravel part were a bit tricky during the first day, but honestly the track layout is just awesome. A lot of elevation, and I think we didn't see so much gravel on the track since a lot of time. It's a pure rallycross track, even if it's in the middle of a big Formula 1 MotoGP site. So it's really good for the sport. I think I'm looking forward to come back next year. To see how much the organizer just put a lot of work into it. So.
And for me, it's unusual to come to a venue like this that has the big infrastructure, but the rallycross circuit is in the middle. The start line works on the normal start line. You return onto the start-finish straight, so you can actually use the infrastructure. It's not like a Barcelona or somewhere where the rallycross track is very separate to the infrastructure.
Exactly. So it's in it's completely in. It makes sense. It makes sense. Like it's not a part that you just add on the side because it's the only place you can build a track. Here it's just like, and I mean the elevation. It's a flat. It's a flat site here, but we have elevation everywhere, and I think it's just fantastic for rallycross. So looking forward for the final also because I think it's just the beginning of the show. So see you after the final maybe.
Thank you, Nicholas. Fantastic to have Nicholas Dubnard here with all his experience. PureRallycross.com is where Nicholas does his stuff. Normally also works hard. We'll do, let me just, sorry Peter, quick turnaround. Let me just jump in here, see if I can grab someone. Is there someone to talk to in here? Yorick, can we grab you, mate? What you got to say? Just speak to Yorick Linneman and then we will wrap up ahead of Q4, continuation of Q4. We've started Q4 already. Sorry mate, we haven't got enough signal to go in the awnings. What was going on at the start there? You had a poor start in Q3.
The pre-launch was absolutely spot on, so I tried to stay on that on the start line and it was too low. So yeah, it was a gamble because yesterday I had really bad starts, so yeah, I tried to gamble to have the perfect launch, but it was not good enough. Luckily I could overtake one of the others on the lap 1 and the two in front of me took Joker, so I got some free air and put in good lap time, so I'm really satisfied with P3 in Q3.
We had a great chat with you in the studio yesterday about the launch strategy and how you go about being in a supercar. Talk about that scenario. So you've done the pre-launch, so you've done it's not really a tyre warm, is it? That's a misnomer, but you do a practice start.
Yeah, they call it tyre cleaning, and I wasn't on new tyres, and that's also why I got more grip, because heating up the new tyres a little bit, and the second start is absolutely maximum grip on new tyres. So
you didn't change the settings at all. You did your pre-start. You drove to the grid thinking those settings are perfect, and then really you needed a bit more boost.
Yeah, I did. So we will get one up next time, and hopefully I'll get a good start. We have been struggling with the engine since Portugal, and we have tried to put things correct, and now it starts to look correct. So hopefully I can get a good start in Q4. I need some more points to get in the front row in the semis. That's really the main thing to take the start in the semi and get some clean air. That would be great.
And what we've seen with the racing so far this weekend is that grid position isn't necessarily that important actually when you're 5 wide in the heat races, because there's a lot of opportunity to go inside or outside even now that the grid's quite wide in the first gravel corner. So there's quite a lot of opportunity there.
Yeah, actually it's really hard, because if you're not in the line, then you are on really loose gravel, so you need to go outside and inside to try to make them big, then you can pass on the inside, like what I did with McConnell in Q3. So yeah, let's see. I hope we can be out in front of the start.
Thank you, mate. Good luck. See you later on. I am going to head all the way back up there to the studio. We'll be back with racing at 11:35 local time. See you very soon.
Right, we're about ready to get cracking again. They are going to keep the track maintenance up. They just want to make sure that everything is as it should be. I am sticking my Ireland Rallycross sticker on my folder. Oh yes, where's it going to go? Oh, the space on the back, yes. With my hooligan sticker and my Nova Motorsport, sole tyre supplier to the RallyX series. Jensen, Hammer and Jensen in this one. That's good because it means you've got a 50% chance of being right. Jensen and Jensen off the front row and away. Hammer drops back. Hammer now coming back around the outside in the Fabia and then dives to the inside line. Go on, Emil. Not quite. Gets past Petter T. Jensen, but not past Christian Jensen. I went for my little look around the track, Hal. I know you popped over because I saw you with Rally's. He was driving at you quite fast and then at the last minute decided not to run you over. What was it you said? You're cancelled, and he said bye and just gunned it off the line, didn't he? I love Rainey's, he's so funny.
He nearly ran over my foot.
Did he? That would have been, well, no, it wouldn't have been funny, but it would. We went and had a good look round, so I know you saw the front of the track. Basically, the whole from turn 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 through here, this section particularly is so much better than yesterday. We've been saying it already, the double right-hander over the crest, rejoining the tarmac is brilliant. The only bit which I think was struggling to hold up a little bit was the exit of the standard lap at the top of the hill. Tight hairpin, you know, a lot slow speed to high speed, a lot of throttle. I think is to be expected. Yeah, a nice wander around the paddock. Had to catch up with a few people, I hope.
Yes, hence why I was eating a crisp because
yeah, I know
unlike you, I've been busy.
I had a pear, Hal, because I'm so healthy.
Yes. I had a couple of pears. Pears.
We had a good chat with Maria Eriksson, which was much bants. So that was fun. I'm very pleased with my Ireland Rallycross stickers. Now we just need to execute the plan.
It is rather warm now, isn't it?
27 it will be this afternoon. It's 23 now. I just called my dad. He's in France with my mum and they're in the motorhome. Happy Father's Day to my dad. And I think, Hal, you just received a call from Soren, your little boy.
It was a video, actually, yeah.
Was it?
Cool,
Happy Father's Day, mate.
Yeah, he was struggling on the whole, all three of those words, but he got a couple of them out, so that was good.
Well, that's a good effort, isn't it? I understand he's learned car and daddy's car. Well, didn't he also learn Ollie's car in Lowiak?
Yeah, you learn lots of things about cars.
And you realise that your horrible addiction T-shirt, you'll be able to pass that on now to Soren because at the rate you're going, he's also going to be addicted to Rallycross, and that'll be a total nightmare for you financially moving forward. But I'm here for it. I love the idea that I might just hang on long enough to commentary to be able to commentate on your son competing. What do you reckon?
Hopefully not.
On all fronts. Savage. Oh, I hope you don't want him competing.
Yeah, and hopefully you've found a real job by then.
I don't want one. I really don't.
A couple of questions in the YouTube comments. Nick, who's in Japan, says, sorry for so many questions about Rallycross cars. Lol, do you have any info on where Lars Larsson's old Skoda Fabia, I think Mark 1 is now, the famous blue and yellow livery? Yes, one of them's in Sweden, having been restored, and one of them is in Norway, I believe, at the moment. Did quite a bit of research on mid-90s to late 2000s Rallycross supercars. It's part of a bit of a project with somebody last year. Was it last year? No, it was early this year. Yeah, early this year. So I've located most of those old cars now, which is quite a nerdy thing to have done. But yeah, there was two of those, Helga 1 and Helga 2 they were called, the two Fabias. And they are both still in existence. And they would be fantastic to have at some of the Legends events and stuff, those cars. As Jensen drives for the line in his Escort. In fact, I believe Emil Hammer's Skoda Fabia in this race is actually Robin Larsson's touring car from
2014?
No, earlier than that. When Robin was doing touring car, he was doing touring car when I was doing Super 1600 Division 1A, so that would have been 2010, 2011-ish.
2013 as well, already gone Supercar by then.
13 he was, yeah.
I'm sure I remember he won at Linden Hill.
He was doing... This is painful. I think he was still in touring car in 13.
Did he run the blue and yellow livery as well? I think
yeah, he did. Yeah, and then in 14 he was at Linden. He
oh no, was it?
It was 14 Linden, where you famously between us wrote Larson facts on a bit of paper and handed it to me because you didn't know anything about him, and he was leading the final or something, wasn't he?
No, done that a few times. Hal Ridge has been in Rallycross over the many years. Simon Tiger on the inside line with Victor Johansson. This time they out-drag Gabrielsen. Gabrielsen got Johansson off the line last time. Tiger slides up the inside. Victor going from the long way round in the big. Mercedes comes in towards the apex. Gonna have some work to do there. Can he find the traction to hold on, or will Gabrielsen get past? And he does. So that's what we were saying earlier, is that would not have been possible yesterday because the ruts, the loose gravel built up around the outside, and this is better today. You can. Good.
Gave each other a lot of room there, didn't they, Tiger and Johansson in turn 2. Very respectful between them. I really would like them to be less respectful and get stuck into each other, but they're too good friends for that, I think. Simon Tiger seems a lot more comfortable this weekend, even though they still have issues, doesn't he? The last couple of appearances he's made, I felt he's been quite frustrated in Holland and Portugal.
Yeah.
But Miss Rieger, obviously, as Gabrielsen takes the joker at the first opportunity during this race, with Ikonen also in this one. You can get away with that because they've all got great pace.
Is Ikonen the only person left double classing? I think he is.
Yes. Correct.
Was it only him and Penttinen before?
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, perhaps he's Supercar said. Right, Johansson, I think he will do a different strategy to Simon Tiger. I think he'll go on this lap. Because Gabrielsen's gone already, so he might as well. Look, there's certain places where he looks like he's got different pace in the corners. That's not to say the lap times wouldn't be exactly the same if he was in clear air, but you can always see differences in people's line and style.
Simon's going to need something to happen to Victor, though, to get to the TQ position. Victor Hansen on 137 at the moment, Simon Tiger on 128.
Yes,
because of his DNF in Q2 after that contact with Ikonen.
He's gapped him big time in that middle gravel section, so if Johansson does, and Johansson, so Simon Tiger goes first. So Tiger's done a push lap into the joker.
That's to get the best overall race time by carrying that momentum down the straight.
And it was a great lap up to that point from the looks of things, wasn't it? So this could be an epic run from Simon. Oh, and only just and also covers off Gabrielsen. So Gabrielsen closer than we thought.
That was a risk, wasn't it, to take against Gabrielsen, who is we know he is quick.
Look at that! Look, it's ridiculous, isn't it?
And he's got a problem.
Oh
he's stopped.
No! Simon Tiger, when he was looking on for maybe the fastest time of the weekend with a tactically well-chosen second lap joker, pulls off to the side of the road, bangs on the window. Didn't see. I'd love to see another look at him banging on the window. Was he livid, or is I'm not quite sure. Maybe he was waving at the marshal to say he's okay. But that's no, he's not happy. Simon Tiger is kicking the hell out of his car.
Absolutely
Go on, Simon.
livid.
Well, fair play to him. The bloke put so much into it, Hal. He'd already said he's had a frustrating season. He's absolutely fuming. Kicked the hell out the door.
And that shows what it means, doesn't it? He's
wearing
his emotion on his sleeve.
You know what I mean, don't you? I like him. He's a big, gentle giant. He was yesterday. You felt like he was almost happy. Gabrielsen versus Johansson to get this one done, but he won't be happy now. Gabrielsen's got both, so obviously Tiger with the retirement would have got that potentially, but Gabrielsen takes the win.
I think Johansson is also very astute and will have backed off a bit there, knowing that his TQ position is pretty safe.
Oh, it's gutting for Simon. That reminds me of Colin McRae and the Focus. Was it Cyprus?
Yeah,
when he rolled it tight twice and he kicked the crap out the boot.
That reminds me of Mika Häkkinen in Imola 1999 when he was crouching down crying in the trees, wasn't he, after throwing it off. Not quite the same
he's going back now.
Scenario here.
Maybe he's opened the other door because he's realised he's kicked the other one in so hard it won't open. Oh, Simon, mate, we're gutted for you.
Still slamming the doors. He's got the steering wheel in his hand as well. I think that's probably engine kaput, isn't it?
Yeah,
based on his response.
It's expensive. I know his mum will be watching too, so tell Simon when he gets home we wish him all the best. We might see him in the paddock again later on today, but I'm gutted for him, I really am. He's such a nice bloke. He's been a great competitor in this series as well, a big supporter of the open two-wheel drive class, and it's a shame to see what looks like his weekend coming to an end here in Q4. Gabrielsen takes the win from Victor Johansson. Johansson will be the top qualifier, and we'll have a look at the standings in just a moment. Two-wheel drive, incidentally, has had enough retirements. They've already lost their semi-finals today. You have to have a minimum car count of 8 for semis, and with Simon gone, it's even lower than that. So the semis were gone already earlier.
That is a sorry sight, isn't it, seeing the Tiger Mobile
Oh, man. Right, Simon has parked the Tiger Mobile. I like that, Hal. We'll have that.
Intermediate classification.
Yeah, Johansson, TQ.
Gabrielsen got quite close in the end, but it was actually Christian Jensen who took the fastest time in Q4. Tiger, Ikonen and Jensen will qualify for the final. But such are the regulations in RallyX that Emma Hammer, even if Tiger doesn't start, won't be able to progress. Remember, that rule has been that the reserves don't go into the finals anymore. After some team tactics were played a few years ago, that
where was Venline on that list? Was he outside the top 6?
Yes.
Yeah. So 4 different winners of the 4 sessions as well. So it was really open, as hence open to the drive. Norlander, Oscarson, Cake, Anderson and Larsen. Anderson with a brilliant reaction time and what looked like a perfect launch, but these cars are very equally matched on the run down the straight. Norlander on the inside in the red and white car. Oscarson on the outside moves out now from P4. Norlander looks to the inside but can't get there. Larsen now goes up the inside of Anderson. Anderson left the door a tiny bit open. That might cost both of them. The door is fully open on Oscarson's car behind. Anderson drops into P2 and slots back in. He's done well to hold on to second there, I think, but that was an opportunistic move which went wrong and cost him a bit of time.
What a brilliant move from Larsen. He was learning on his feet here in Supercar Lights this year, and there's just someone up the inside of one of the class acts of the entire RallyX paddock. Fair play. What a good job from the Linneman promotion driver. The car gets spat sideways over the bumps. Anderson has a look to the inside as they get to the end of the loose surface section. Norlander's waiting in the wings as well.
Anderson might be able to go joker here, Hal, on that one, because Phoebe, I think, won't be quick enough for them to be a problem. Yes, so I think he'll get in and out of the joker before Phoebe Cake comes through, and if not, I think he'll probably get her at turn 1. Such is his experience compared to hers. So Anderson now, look at this. What an angle to see the drop-off on the joker. He's going to come out into P4, he is indeed. So Anderson now on the hunt. Yeah, brilliant move by Larsen. I thought it might cost Anderson more, but it didn't, did it? Held on to second.
Peter Hellman, the cameraman in that instance, and I went onto the grid, and Peter put the camera on the ground, and we wanted to show the elevation change of the Joker section with the big machine working on the top, and it is massive, the drop off in the Joker. You just cannot see it on the TV screens, can you?
Oskarson's tapped the bank there twice, Hal, with the rear right. I don't think hard enough to break it, but both laps now Oscarson has boshed it off the bank in the background, and Lucas Anderson came into turn 1 super rotated.
That's the good thing about those soft banks though, isn't it, that you can get away with sticking the wheel into it and it doesn't do any damage to the car. It's not like whacking a concrete wall.
Who's going to go joker this time? Oscarson can't get the door shut, or maybe able to now, and I actually mean the physical door rather than the metaphorical one in terms of racing. So Anderson's been released by Norlander now. Norlander has gone, but Oscarson is still there in front, and Anderson's right on the rear bumper. So Anderson is just out of your shot behind here. If Vigo drops back a tiny bit, you'll see him. Thank you, Vigo, you legend. Anderson moves to the inside line. Bird's eye view here. Anderson surely will try and go late. Oscarson is there, though. This time he's going to open it up. Oscarson gets 2 sideways. They both have to tighten up their line. And Anderson slots up the inside. Really nicely done by both.
Brilliant job by Lucas Anderson to not only get up the inside, but have the composure to be on the brakes early, to not run deep. So often we've seen someone got the inside there and then run deep mid-corner and open the door up again. But Anderson got it stopped because he had to keep track position there, or he'd have been stuck behind all the way across the loose. Actually, from that drone shot, I keep thinking that bit of black tarmac on the way
to two is a tyre. I thought the same. I thought it was about to plough straight into it. Like, no. Oh, okay, it's fine. But this for me, Hal, this is the Lucas Anderson that we've seen before. This is pro driver Lucas Anderson.
On
very
a massive
close to the
push here,
bars.
isn't he? And he's going to get this done as well. Sends the car in with a beautiful Scandinavian flick in a Supercar Lights machine. The JC Race Technique driver comes down the hill and drives for the line. Larsen, he's absolutely nowhere relative to the race winner, Lucas Anderson, who is going to smash the time. A 3:15.1 compared to
that
what
is
was the best yesterday.
3:13.9 by him. So that's 3-way. If he wins the session, he's won 3. He's in the first race here. So with the people in the next one, it could be beaten.
That was a great run though, wasn't it?
Really
Even
was.
with a bit of battling.
What was it, Hal? 3:15.1?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did a 3:15.2 in Q1, a 3:13.9 in Q2. Mounier won Q3 with a 3:14.4, so these guys have been really consistent. But
with
of
a
course,
lot of battling in that race.
They have also had track prep before lights, haven't they, every time? So they've actually gone out in pretty consistent conditions compared to the other categories.
But with the track being
so
as good as it is, I think it's actually in better shape than it was, even if it was groomed before they went out yesterday.
Yeah, agreed.
because they'd watered before that session as well, remember?
Yeah.
6 of one, half dozen the other.
Yeah.
Yada yada. But I think that was a very competitive run despite the traffic. If someone can lead from start to finish here, they could well go quicker, but it'll be close.
Tobias Darback in the middle, Kevin Darback on the outside, Mounier, Vittels and Hagstrom, the other 3 cars on the grid. Oh, it's a great start by Vittels. A little bit too much wheel spin for Mounier in the middle of the grid. Tobias Darback is going with Vittels. Kevin's going to stay out wide, moves across on Hagstrom. Hagstrom nudges inside. Both the Darbacks slot to the inside line. Mounier's got Vittels. Vittels will look to outbrake him on the run into turn 2, but he might go deep. Vittels gets the rotation on in the middle of the corner. Block pass on Mounier and holds on. The Darbacks are going to be P2 and P3. It's Tobias in P2, Kevin in P3.
It wasn't really a block pass because he already got the move done, but he actually defended really hard by getting the rotation done and didn't allow the door to open. So brilliant job by them as Hagstrom's fighting with the second of the Darback cars. Mounier goes to the outside as well. Through the right hand, and Mounier gets squeezed to the wall on the outside, just stops the Supercar Lights machine, hitting the Armco barrier. The Darbacks will need a front and a rear bumper when they get back to the paddock though, because those two make contact in the run to turn 2, and I wonder if the second of the Darback cars has got a bit of an issue there, because a little bit of a lost momentum.
This is what we were saying earlier, Hal, wasn't it, about the family team and not running into each other, coming in and getting the telling off from Dad. We've got plenty of that over the years, haven't we, with the Ericssons, the Hansons, the Christophersons. Yeah, more than that even. Lots of second generations coming through now. Third generations even. Hampus Hagstrom P3. Qualifying wise, Hagstrom's in 5th overall, and Vittels is in the TQ spot with Anderson 2nd. There's only 2 points between Anderson and Vittels, so Anderson could take
Hagstrom right, sorry Andrew, right up the bank in the background, kept the foot in, rode the wall.
Oh, go on lad, keep it lit, go on.
It's got a right rear puncture, hasn't he, surely? Do I just see the rim shining in there?
That's almost a medal, that, Hal. That's almost a full send medal. What are you doing? You're going to look to see on your tiny little monitor if he's got a puncture or not.
Yeah, maybe he hasn't. I just thought I saw the edge of the wheel.
The rim. I think sometimes you see that exposed and it doesn't come off. Hagstrom goes to the standard lap with 2 laps to go. Darback goes into the Joker. And on the inside line, Vittels continues to lead. Can you remember the lap times, Hal, from Anderson? No. So Vittels on a 1:01.6.
He was over a minute, I know that.
And now goes 1.8. So, and the fastest lap now, Julian Mounier, 1:05. Hagstrom back in the car, in up at turn 2.
Speaking of brothers, I've perhaps never been so entertained at a rallycross event as when Ollie and Kevin fired each other off in Owlsbyn last year. That did tickle me a lot.
You did laugh, I remember. I think you laughed live on air, didn't you? I was surprised we weren't fired for that. But yeah, you did.
Fortunately, they were too busy to be watching. But
I like it when they get stuck into each other. Yeah, Kevin Hansen and Timmy at Portugal a couple of weeks ago. Good for you. Do you remember Hollies when they got into each other? We don't want to see brothers playing over teammates, do we? We want to see. I know they're going to be a bit more teammates, but I like it when they have a crack at each other.
Yeah, I'd like it to be more feisty, but there we go. Through the Joker section.
Look at that. Sideways on the way in. That's where this really smooth now, the track. Great job. But Vittels down on the bottom section going to take this. Is he going to get the fastest time? He is by some margin. So with the traffic for Anderson, Vittels 1:13.5 takes the session. Where did Darback 1:15, 1:45? Oh! So Lucas Anderson has held on to P2 in this session by the tiniest of margins, 0.145 to 0.163, less than 20 hundredths of a second for Anderson to hold on to second from Tobias Darback. But Anderson did well to do that in traffic too.
Yeah, I think it would have been much closer without the traffic.
Yeah, absolutely.
Lucas Anderson looked like he was well on top of the car, like we've seen when he's been at his best, didn't he?
Great to see the track and how raceable it is when it's a bit smoother. So you really have seen, you've probably seen about a month's worth of track development, and I don't mean in terms of lap time, like the amount of work that's gone in over these 2 days. Maybe, yeah, there are many venues that would have taken a lot longer to do this than they have done here. Congratulations to them, and I say to wow to Mounier for keeping that out the wall, just maybe the rear, yeah, okay, one half the bumper. But yeah, to the Paine family as well. Oi. Is half the bumper down there, or was half the bumper off it before? I can't remember. Do you remember if Mounier had a bumper before? There's the Jeep that got stuck yesterday.
No, the bumper didn't exist
before. Look at Hagstrom. Go on, lad. Yes, Hagstrom actually missed the jump. He rode over the dirt on the outside of the jump. Tempting. Is that a medal? Is it a full send medal for Hagstrom? No.
No, needs
Hal
some
shakes his head. He's not happy. He wasn't committed enough for Hal Ridge. Any exciting messages on YouTube, Hal?
On YouTube, and just comments on what's going on.
So Vitol's 313.5. A little bit of track re-prep going on, and these are your final intermediate standings for Supercar lights. Roberts Vitol's your top qualifier from Lucas Anderson, who's done brilliantly this weekend, needed a good one, and has very much got it. Julian Meunier, Tobias Darbeck, apart from the one issue yesterday in Q3. Hampus Hagström, Kevin Darbeck, Mads Larsen, Pontus Oskarsson, and Robin Norlander. Phoebe Cake in P10. That's it for qualifying right up to Supercar Lights. Hal, were you just removing a bug there? Did we almost catch you swiping a bug?
No, Callum said coming to studios. I thought we'd stand up.
Oh, no, I'm just going to chill out. Yeah, well, you stand up if you want, mate. Yeah,
it makes you look even shorter than you are.
Well, no, yeah, everybody says that. I'm very short in the body, so I look a bit weird when I'm sitting down and I stand up and it's like a big, stupid giant. We're at 11, 12, 20, 11, what's the time now? 11:56. 12:20 will be the conclusion of qualifying, the final session of the final qualifying. It's not like, I know it feels like it's Q85, but it's not, with a little bits of track maintenance. And you see what a brilliant job they're doing. I hope you guys appreciate how hard everybody's worked to make sure you get to see a race meeting. Open four-wheel drive is going to happen in about 25 minutes' time. Currently, Anton Seppa is in the TQ spot. Tepainen could maybe take it off him, but we'll see. So join us, what time did we say? 12 when? How? Are you listening to Calla?
Don't think I had it, I'm afraid.
12:20. Thanks, Calla. 12:20. See you then. Welcome back to Kymiring. If you haven't joined us until now, it is Kymiring. We met a bloke this morning who says there's a river nearby called Kymi something or other, so that's why it's Kymiring. Fair go. And to the bloke who said I was wrong on YouTube, yeah, you're right, I was. At least I admit it. My name's Andrew Coley, alongside me is Hal Ridge. We are hanging on for the end of Q4 for open four-wheel drive. 4 heats with the quickest of the four-wheel drive drivers in them. We've had Supercar lights already. We've got all our top qualifiers in all our categories except this one. And this one's close enough between Seppa and Tapanen at the top, who will line up together in the final race in their Skoda Fabia and Ford Fiesta. But in this one, 3 FC2s and a Peugeot Touareg, McConnell, Martinov, Svensson and Walker on the outside. Walker doesn't get away that well. Fraser McConnell gets away brilliant on the inside. Look at this, outrunning the Supercar down to turn 1. The FC2 is looking really good, but it's Svensson in front of Fraser McConnell for Martinovs. Almost opens the door there, but thinks better of it. No, he doesn't. Jake Walker gets up the inside. Jake is very good on the tarmac. Fraser McConnell alongside, Svensson out front. Looks to the inside on the exit, but Svensson's clever and just backs off a little bit.
McConnell hard into the side of Svensson on the exit of turn 2, just trying to force the issue on the way up the inside. Fraser told us in the gap in between the sessions in the paddock that they're struggling with the temperature in the FC2 machines. All of them are with this increased ambient temperature today. They're 7 degrees hotter than they were yesterday, not really working for them at the moment. They put a lot of protection in overnight, the OMSE squad, into these cars specifically to try and protect the intercoolers, which is why Fraser lost power yesterday, because they had a rock through the intercoolers. So that protection has then hampered the airflow a little bit, so now they're having to work on increasing the airflow to get the temperature back down. But clearly it's working quite well at the moment, isn't it? Because
well, start of the race, temperatures are nice and low, aren't they? As it goes on, you might see it drop off if temps come up a bit. Fraser McConnell is in P13. Needs to be to P12 to make it through to the semis, but don't forget there is an FC2 final, a Pro final and an AM final, but he needs to make it through to the semis, so this has to be a good performance by him.
I would expect him to make it with a clean
but looking
run.
at the people that are ahead of him, people aren't struggling really. You know, I mean, there's 2, Jari Turi and Simon Olofsson are 1 point each ahead of him.
You would expect him on a good run to go quicker than Turi, wouldn't you? On a like-for-like good run, and Fraser's had his fair share of issues, so he just needs a clean, solid run here.
Got to get it done. I agree with you on that, but he has. Most of the people in front of him have had a good, solid weekend. McConnell goes Joker.
It's not yet on top of the FC2 in a way that I think we will see him at some point.
And so there's nothing in it, but it's got to be good, hasn't it? He's got to perform here. So Svensson has stayed out, Fraser McConnell has gone Joker. Fraz needs to do a really mint lap here. Let's see if he can make up any more time. Chucks the FC2 down into turn 2. This is turn 3. Handily the marshal points, I noticed on my lap with Rainis are numbered the same way as our corners, so that's good. This is over the crest into 4. There's just a little section of tarmac in the middle, and you just could not drift the cars like this yesterday. The track wasn't holding up to it, but they're doing a lot of maintenance today, and the track is much better prepped than it was.
People are chatting in the comments about whether open two-wheel drive could work in the UK. I mean, Super Modified, Super National has been open two-wheel drive basically since in the last 10-15 years. That category isn't running in the British Championship at the moment just because of the lack of entries in the last couple of years. But this is going to be tight at the end.
Fraser McConnell coming in off the standard lap. McConnell's done a brilliant last lap. Well, maybe Svensson didn't do such a good Joker, but McConnell has edged it. So Fraz with a 3:04.9. How does that compare? Wow, that's only a 10th of Seppa's winning time from Q3. So he really has thrown down. They did do 3:07 and 3:06 yesterday, so there's more time out there. That's a good run.
Did they? Yeah, the track's in basically the same condition it was earlier on as well, isn't it?
Yes,
so
roughly.
Yeah, like for like. And there was a bit of battling there too.
What were you saying? Open two-wheel drive, mate. Carry on. You were saying about
no, I finished,
BRX. You finished?
Well, it has always been open two-wheel drive really in recent history, and it's been struggling for entries because for whatever reason people haven't wanted to do it. So yeah, tricky at the moment. We've seen a couple of those regular British drivers come over, or quite a few of them now, come and do RallyX this year, haven't we? In the Bleasdale brothers and Slavomir Wallach. Wallach, of course, had that dream double victories in Riga last time out. There's confirmation of the result of the first race in Q4 of Open 4-wheel drive. Fraser McConnell, Svensson, Jake Walker and Martinovs rounds out the top 4.
Right, on to race 2. Ollie Eriksson on the inside line, then Philip Toren, Jari Turi and Simon Olofsson. Turi and Olofsson very much of interest to Fraser McConnell, needs to out-qualify them, so we'll keep an eye on their times versus Fras, even if they're not at the top of the pack. Good start by Olofsson, who goes left a little bit, but then gets out-dragged immediately by Turi on the run to the first corner. Turi comes across, Toren drops back. Eriksson 2 out-dragged, Olofsson took going all the way around the outside. Eriksson looks up the inside, he's halfway up but not enough, and he ends up in the bails. The bails go for a Burton roll across the inside line. The FC2's held up well, he looks up the inside again. Is he going to get another tyre bail? Not quite. Desperate to find a way through.
Ollie Eriksson, 2 things of note there. Look at the air scoop on the top of the car. They've opened that up, the OMC mechanics, as Ollie gets into the rear of Jari Turi. Eriksson is driving with all of the body language in the car of, you push me into the tyres in the first corner. You can see the result of that on the front of Ollie Eriksson's FC2 machine. It's a different car that Ollie's driving this weekend to what we saw him in earlier in the season, and clearly felt wrong there in turn 2, I think.
Yeah, not very happy was he. Got a squeeze and had nowhere to go, can't just disappear.
Olofsson into the Joker this time around. Turenne stays on the standard lap. That's probably not ideal for Simon. He would have wanted to be followed in to not have that traffic, but Turenne did have good pace in Q3 earlier on this morning, but look at the gap that Ollie Eriksson's pulling at the front of the field.
Yeah, he's driving away from them. Eriksson's lap time 60 seconds, 0.2. Double wave yellows, that's just because the tyre bails moved. That's a bit over the top in my opinion, but there you go. It's not going to run out in the track in front of you. Eriksson's car, that might pop back out with a bit of a kick. Maybe they'll get Simon Tiger to come and do it, Hal.
I suspect it's bent the frame underneath, and that's what's forcing it down, but there we go and have a look in the brake. This is riding above Turi with Vigo's drone shot. Fantastic angle of the new Volkswagen Polo. Looks very much like a KMS machine, but that isn't from the Swedish squad. That's a Dynamo RX built car, and look at the attitude on Eriksson's FC2 at the top of the hill, throwing it into the hairpin.
So Eriksson on a big old push out front. What's he going to do up in turn 1? Vigo doing his best to chase him. Rotates the slightly differently shaped FC2 in. Well, with the vent that they've done on purpose for airflow and the bonnet or the hood that he's done by driving into the tyre bail, it does look quite different, doesn't it? Look, it looks like someone's been jumping up and down. It looks like Petter's roof after a win back in 2014, 2015.
And in what the front, and the air scoop looks like an inverted version of the,
the
jumped-on roof.
Yeah,
the
exactly.
lap time's not there though, Andrew, compared to Elias Svensson in the previous race. They're nearly half a second off on best lap, Ollie Eriksson is. So is this going to be enough? Although Svensson was in that battle with McConnell, wasn't he? And McConnell eventually took the race win.
So 3:04.9 is the time. Here goes Eriksson. Let's watch the Joker then. Up towards, over the curb, all the way over the curb, getting straight. Then in, he locks the front right and misses the apex by just a tiny bit. Now he'll flick it right, drop it down the hill, up through the gears. The gravel fires out of the rear mud flaps over the line. Eriksson is looking for McConnell's time, but he's not going to get it. Fraser McConnell remains at the top of the table. Eriksson goes 3:07.1. And I think that immediately, with Fras being at least one place in front of Turi and Olofsson, should see him through to the semi-finals.
The lap time just wasn't there, was it, compared to Svensson, who'd done the best lap of the previous run, even though McConnell did get him at the end. Let's have a look back at the start. Olofsson did well to carry the speed, but just didn't get it turned in enough, did he? Really needed to close the door earlier and was right out in the boonies. This is Eriksson getting fired into the tyres on the inside. I think that's a racing incident, having looked back at it. Ollie will feel wronged by that, but the gap wasn't really... I know from that angle, it looks like he's right up the inside, doesn't it? And Turi shut the door, so I'm glad I'm not Rainis in that instance. But yeah, Ollie was clearly frustrated by that, and he was driving hard towards the end.
So we've got 2 more races to come. Fras, come and join us just when the session finishes. Stick around so you can see the times, then come and join us in a minute. We'll get your feedback when we know where you're at, mate. Oh dear, I'll tell you what, come jump on now and then we'll jump you back out for a second and then jump you back in at the end if you're still about. Oh, there you go, there's your headset. Well done, mate, that was a great run in that last one. You won't need those, Peter. It's bright enough, apparently. Great run in that last session. What was it? 3:04.9. Yeah, happy?
Yeah, it didn't feel too bad. The start wasn't that great, but knew I really needed a good run. We had DNF in Q1. Q3, we had some overheating, so the car limped over the finish line. So hopefully this Q4, I'm happy with it, but you know, we have 2 more races to go.
Yeah, I mean, we were looking at the time. So Q3 look was a 3:04.8. We know we can't exactly compare times between sessions, but yours is a 3:04.9. So you'd like to think that the conditions were pretty similar to the first time out.
Yeah, I mean, hard to say. It could be drier. The sun is hotter. But yeah, anything can play out in a race. You guys know that more than anyone. So
you and Elias had good pace there, though, didn't you? Elias did the best lap of the session so far on a 57.7, and Ollie ran out front for most of that and did a 58.1. So between you and Elias, you had great pace. I can't see many people bettering that, certainly within the FC2 brigade. So
what was my lap time?
I only look at the fastest one, mate.
We're going to have a quick look at your heat, actually. Fraz, here you go. Talk us through this.
Yeah, reaction felt good. I saw that I cleared the Peugeot. And then Elias came tumbling on the outside. A really good start from him. Tried to nip him on the inside. I saw him run wide. Tried to get in his door there, but you know.
Well, you did get in his door.
But you know, all fair play.
It was fair play, mate, with side-by-side contact. But yeah, and then
had to find the wiper button again.
Did you?
Yeah. Looking down, I'm like, all right, which one is the wiper?
We press all the buttons. Which one of these is? And whereabouts are you using your push-to-pass button here?
I use it on the exit there, coming down the hill. In my spot, I was like, come on, push the pass, it's close.
You're like, I've pushed it. I'm pressing
it.
It's the wipers. Hang on, it's the wrong thing.
The horn is going on.
Hazard lights are on, yeah. Oh, mate, so yeah, complicated stuff. But I mean, it was a great, we weren't sure, we didn't see obviously both laps for both of you. Looked like you got a great joke, and then when Svensson came out, you know, in theory, he should have been in front, but he didn't. So, I mean, a combination, was both your in-lap and your joker lap good?
My joker lap felt solid, and the third lap, in-lap, is that what you call it?
Yeah, out-lap, in-lap after the joker.
All laps felt good except for the start.
Okay, sweet.
And how is the car feeling? Because in Q3 you had that temperature issue that cost you some time.
So my parents went out to the supermarket and got some ice. You know, believe it or not, it's very difficult to find ice in Finland when it's not in the winter. It's not.
Well, what do they drink with their vodka?
They have it in the sauna.
Maybe that's the problem. It's Sunday and all the ice has been drunk over the weekend. You know. So they got ice and did what?
Got ice and we put it on top of the intercooler. So
you rested just ice on the intercooler.
We just poured it in. It was like it's an air box with radiator and intercooler. So we just dumped a couple bags of ice in there.
We've seen that a lot in rallycross lately. They were doing that in Lusada a couple of weeks ago with a car pouring buckets of ice on top of the radiators.
Yeah. Makes sense, doesn't it?
Clearly very, very sensible.
I mean, when I went to the start line, it was still below operating temperature. So I got to the line just in the nick of time.
I'm going to have to have a quick drink here to get rid of some.
I saw Peter, your father, with the cool bag, but I
thought it was going to the bar.
Yeah.
Poor Peter. He gets some stick from us, doesn't he? We've got some good stories about him, but sadly they're not for broadcast. We keep those for the book, shall we, Fraz?
Yeah. I don't think those can go in the book.
I don't know, mate. Depends when we write the book. So basically, the point my TV career is over, which could be tomorrow, the book gets written. But I'm going to need Hal's help with it because I can't write. So,
or remember.
Yeah, that's true. Or remember, yeah. So you're probably in luck because, to be honest, I can't really remember anything from anywhere. So we've probably forgotten the stories by then. It's not too hot for you, is it, mate? Here, really?
No, it's perfect. It's like 35 back home now. I think it's like 25 right now.
Hal, just have a look at his brow. Look, there isn't even a bead of sweat. Like
I can see a small bead of sweat.
Oh,
a little bit of shine.
Franz, thank you, mate. Much appreciated. We've got Victor Franks, Mikko Ikonen, Philip Martinson and Kasper Janssen in this one. If you want to stick around and see where you end up, by all means do, and join us at the end of the session, mate. Here we go then. Some threats in this one. Kasper on the outside in the FC2. There's another FC2 in Tommy Howman in the last one. Ikonen with a rocket of a start in the middle of the grid, starting to pull away from Franks. Franks may get back on the gear ratios down the outside. Kasper Janssen there. He might look for a cutback. I thought he might back off and cut in, but he's gone for the outside line. Martinson is on the inside. Martinson gets inside Ikonen. Franks gets the whole shot, and Ikonen goes from P1 down almost to P4, just holds on to third. On the inside, Janssen, sorry, into the door. Is he going to get past or not? He's not alongside. No, Ikonen does hold on.
Such great traction in that Hyundai. I didn't think he was going to get done on the inside there with it. Oh, he's hit the wall on the inside, the tyre bale on the inside, rotates the Hyundai. He'll get away with that, I think, but shame for Mikko Ikonen. He was so cautious in turns 1 and 2 and really gave a lot of room to Victor Ranks. I think another driver might have shut the door harder on the orange Peugeot machine, but that's exactly what Victor Ranks needed, because he's had an up and down weekend so far, and really he wants to be chasing McConnell at the top of this time sheet.
Yeah, Ranks has had a 3rd, a 12th and a 6th and 6 in P6 overall. Any of these drivers would like ideally to be on the front row. Fraz knows at the minute this is about making the semis, and at the minute he definitely will. With a session win, he could move quite considerably up the order. I don't think to the front row, but got to get in the mix. In turn 1, Howler, we've seen there are options.
There are indeed, and I don't think it really matters if you're P2 on the grid come the semi-finals, much like some other circuits. I don't know if Hollius is actually that extreme, is it? As Janssen rides the bank in the background.
That's the alternate line, isn't it? Who did that earlier? Hagstrom did it earlier in the lights. Fraz is making notes on whether that's a potential pass for the semis later on. Yeah, up the wall, there's a wall ride. This definitely is definitely on. Wipers were on for Janssen, straightens the car out. Bumps are better through there still.
Philip Martinson was not pleased with how his weekend's gone so far. When we caught up with him in the paddock in the gap earlier on, was pretty frustrated overall. Wants to win every time on track. He's not really bothered about the AM or the pro categories. He just wants to be as high up as he possibly can, and had a bit of a miserable day yesterday. Again, the lap time is not there for Victor Ranks compared to the time done by Elias Svensson, who then got beaten by McConnell in the first race of the session. A 58.5 is actually so in the previous race winner as well. That was Ollie Eriksson, wasn't it, in race 2. Ranks jumps onto the bank on the outside. Martinson does the same as well in the background. You need to be careful, boys, there, because you can't take... You can take so much risk, but you can't take too much, and it really lands the car hard on the bank.
Yeah, you end up pushing a tyre off a rim or whatever, so Ranks is chasing down those times out front. 58.5, Fraser McConnell is stood just to the right of the commentary box having a little look. Go on, how are you?
Ikonen's done the fastest lap of the race so far, driving livid in the background, having spun with that tyre collection.
Angry Ikonen. Ranks through the right-hander in the Peugeot now. This needs to be mint, drop it in on that apex, then get on the gas over the bump. Coming down, chasing Fraser McConnell's time. It's going to be close. He's going to be close. Has he done it or not?
No.
No, 306.0. Fraser McConnell does a Jamaican-style dance. We should have a camera on him, really. Yeah, does a Jamaican-style dance off to the side, so he still holds P1. That's Fraz in the semis for me, Hal.
Look at Ikonen here. Makes the best of the starts by some margin. Starts to come across a little bit, we don't see it, starts to come across a little bit on Ranks and then left the door open. This is...
Too nice, you think?
Yeah, definitely too nice, but he is a nice bloke and doesn't want to cause himself or anyone else any grief. But at some point you've got to...
Look.
I wonder... The Hyundai was always going to drag the FC2 out of there because it's got so much traction, the Hyundai. And then what happens here...
Does he get too much rotation?
No, I think he's just...
Yeah, he's chucked it in too early.
Well, I think he's just lost the rear as the grip changed on the tarmac rather than... I think the turn in was okay, but it's just rotated more than he expected on that shiny tarmac where the loose gravel is.
Got on the throttle as well, unless he was desperately trying to understeer it through. You know, you can point the nose out, can't you, try and pull it out, but...
The solution to most things in a supercar is to get into the
more gas, more power, more power, more power.
That is Ranks driving to the line, but the time is slower than Svensson and McConnell, with only one race still to go, is there?
Yeah, there is one race still to go, that is it. So Victor Ranks 306.0 goes into third. Elias Svensson is ahead of him. Fraser McConnell is at the top of the pile, so it was Fraser and Elias's race number 1 which got the job done. Track conditions so different to yesterday that it's developing in a different way. Seems to be pretty... Well, I think it's way more consistent than yesterday.
Massively so, and this could be a final, couldn't it?
Anton Seppa and Joni Tapainen on the inside are in the battle for TQ. There's only 5 points in between them. Linneman, Tam and Howman on the outside. Seppa gets away well, bit of wheel spin for Linneman. He goes back with Maiko. Tam could move across, but Tapainen and Turby will be on. Seppa will be on the inside. Seppa loses out. Tam comes across, so Seppa drops into P2. Tommy Howman's gone for the long way round. Get it to the inside. Can he capitalise on that contact? He can. He gets inside Seppa. Seppa here might have just lost the TQ spot because he's dropped way back. Maiko Tam's out. How far in front of him is Tapainen? only, yeah, Tapanen 2 cars up, so Tapanen your favourite for TQ here.
Seppa got absolutely mugged in the first couple of corners. I thought he'd done enough by just sitting in behind Tam, and then the whole pack came by in turns 1 and 2. Howman sideways across the loose. Linneman coming back from another poor start. Just didn't have the launch settings right last time around on new tyres. Who will joke at first time around? I think Linneman might go. Yeah, Howman was waiting there to see what happened and then decided to stay out. Seppa also goes in the background.
Didn't lose any time though, Howman, did he? You know, he was in the throttle, keeping one eye on it, just on it. Nicely
and you've got
done.
a certain steering angle there where you can either tighten it up or open it up, depending on where you want to go.
And you won't lose too much time, will you?
Well, there's anything.
No, there's too late and there's not too late, and that was perfect from Howman.
58.2 for Maiko Tam on his opening lap. That is very competitive for an opening lap time.
So Tam with clear air in front here could be a threat to the top of the table. Tapanen runs into the bank. Everybody using that bank on the outside line now. They are driving away a little bit from Howman.
I don't think it's that intentional, Andrew. From that drone shot we saw before, Vigo, gosh, maybe next time around we can fly above the start of the jump, because you can see where the cars are getting spat sideways and it drags the car out to the outside, and you've really got not a lot of option.
So is Tapanen going to go alternate strategy to Maiko Tam?
Yes.
Should go left now if Tam doesn't, and Tam doesn't. So in theory, this gives Tapanen the advantage, Hal, in terms of race time, if he can nail on a perfect joker. Look for Tapanen on the right-hand side, and also not get caught by Howman in traffic. He's going to edge Linneman and Seppa, is he? He's going to be close with Linneman on the merge. Linneman on the right-hand side. Tapanen gets in just in front. Ulrich Linneman now could have a look down in turn 1. Linneman maybe backed out a little bit on the run down to the first corner. Comes in hot behind Tapanen. Tapanen's going to try and protect this position. He goes in tight on the inside.
Linneman's done the fastest lap of the session so far. Tapanen was massaging the brakes with the left foot there at the joker merge. This is what we wanted to see. Thank you, Vigo, as the cars get spat outside.
Dust on the outside edge as well as it flies up to Tapanen, looking to try and take Seppa's top qualifier spot away. To do it, he really needs one of the top 3 spots out, because he wants the extra points from the qualification. As he flirts just a little bit with the wall on the outside line. Gets the car straight on the exit. Tapanen is in full send. Maiko Tam and Howman going to go joker this time round. Watch for Tapanen on the inside. He goes standard lap. Linneman goes in with him. Tapanen with a big old Scandi flick on the way in. He's by the bales, but he understeers at the apex. Tam might get this, I think, on the run down to the finish line. Maiko Tam finds better traction. He crosses the line. It was a 3:04 was the target time. 3:04.0. Maiko Tam gets in front. Joni Tapanen 3:04.939. Fraser McConnell holds on to P2 by 29 thousandths of a second. And he looks pretty pleased with that.
Will that
Braz, jump on with us.
Will that be enough for Anton Seppa to remain TQ?
That's what I'm trying to figure out, yeah.
Was second, so here, and Seppa was, no, I think Tapanen...
Points are there, Hal, if you need them. That's the points for positions here.
They're too far away, you do it.
Fraser, so Fraz, what is it going to be? P1, Maiko Tam will get, no, it's not Tam we're looking at. Tapanen's going to get 45. Where's Seppa in the session? Any ideas? 3:07.4. Oh, it's going to be close. We'll have the intermediate standings for you in a moment, find out who is the top qualifier here in Finland, but what a great way to end the session. Fraser, did you enjoy that, or is it just nervous watching other people?
I love watching racing. I'm a fan. I'm a competitor. So close
race,
racing.
Wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a really good race. I thought Linneman had it. He had a really good joker. Looks like he got held up. Great strategy from Turpinen.
Tapanen will be TQ, I'm sure.
You think?
Yeah.
Right, there we go. Hal's done the maths and he thinks it's right. There was 5 points between Seppa and Tapanen coming into this one. It was a great race for that position. Howman in the background almost got past Seppa. Maiko Tam with a 3:04.0 wins Q4. Fraser McConnell gets P2, Tapanen, Svensson P3, P4. Yeah, Seppa's down in P8. I think Hal Ridge is right. He is. Joni Tapanen takes the TQ by 1 point from Anton Seppa. Maiko Tam, Linneman, Janssen, Howman, Franks, Eriksson. Fraser McConnell comes up from P13 to P9. Svensson 10th. Ikonen and Jari Turi. Olofsson just misses out as Fraser comes into that top 12. Then Martinson and Jake Walker on his Rallycross debut, I hope, has had a brilliant time. We might see Jake in the AM final. He'd qualify for that, wouldn't he? I think he would. Let me check the entries.
I think so, yeah.
He's got him in as pro. Come on, change that. It's his first Rallycross event. Change it. Rainis, change Jake Walker. I want to see him in the AM final. We can do that, can't we?
I can't personally, but maybe Rangers can.
Yeah, we can. Fraz, what they should change it for Jake, shouldn't they? It's his first
let
rally.
him race.
Yeah, yeah. See?
Let him race.
Let him. We're going to start a riot if he's not in. That's it. Qualifying's done. I know it felt like 85 gazillion qualifying sessions, but we are done. Fraser, you're in the semi-finals for the four-wheel drive, whatever the different categories are. There's about 9 different finals. Obviously. Have you FC2 final? Is that?
Yeah, FC2 final and semi-final pro.
Okay,
so where will you be in the FC2 final? Hang on,
Yeah,
let's have a
look
count
at
down.
I think I counted 5th or 4th.
You were what overall?
Mm-hmm.
Standings again, Calla, please, for the intermediates for full drive.
Oh, they're here.
Here we go.
Kasper, Halman,
they're up.
Ollie.
They're here.
So I'll be starting P4 in the
on your
FC2
big
final.
screen. Okay, that's
P4's not a terrible place
No.
to be.
No?
well, not compared to
I know,
where you were prior to this session. It's definitely better, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's encouraging, like Q2 and Q4 are encouraging results because, you know, we have shown that if we have a good clean run with no issues, we're going to be right up in the front. So, yeah, just need to make the most of these upcoming races.
How are you for tyres?
I just used my new ones in Q4 because I really needed a good time. But
That might
this
give you a
track is
nice
not really
launch in the final because it's pretty abrasive anyway. You don't necessarily want new tyres.
there's so much gravel that the tires have time to cool. So if it's a lot of tarmac like Riga, the tires are always heating up the entire way because there's no gravel to really cool down the tire. But here, you know, it's a decent 50-50 split. So you're on the tarmac and then you have a decent run on gravel to cool them down.
So you made a remarkably good start given that you're on new tyres, because new tyres aren't necessarily the thing to have here when there's so much grip on the start line. So that should put you in a good place for the forthcoming races, semis or finals or whatever as well.
Yeah, I mean, regardless of what tyre I have on, I'm just going to be going flat out. So.
That's what we like to hear. Full send medal for Fraser if he does something really impressive later on, of course. Thanks for joining us, mate. Hal, thanks, mate. Well done qualifying over and done with. We will be back at 13:25 local time. That's 12:25 CET, and I don't know, an hour before that in the UK. What's that, Hal? 11:25? Whatever. A new stream in about 40 minutes' time. Have some nice lunch or something, brunch, whatever. Bye.